Uh, I just wanted to talk a minute about finger picks and my banjo setup. Uh, I use Ernie Ball picky finger picks, and I use a Jim Dunlop steel thumb pick. The reason I use the Ernie Ball picky fingers is because the Nationals just feel like big scoops on my fingers. And so I get the sound that I want with these Ernie Ball picky fingers. Now, the Jim Dunlop thumb pick, uh, it doesn't get the scratchy sound that a plastic thumb pick gets sometimes. Um, as far as my strings, I like more of a medium or medium light strings. I just they sound better to me. I use a Snuffy Smith uh, compensated bridge. I think they call it the Snuffy Smith 2. Um, Now, as far as my banjo setup, I have the head tightened to about an A sharp. Uh, it's about as tight as you can go without it busting on you. Now, the tailpiece, get on up there so y'all see. The tailpiece, take the screw out of it. See it there. When they asked Earl Scruggs about the Presto tailpiece, how you set them with a screw thing, he said, well, you take and you turn that all the way till it comes out. And he said, you see that garbage can over there? You throw it in it. That's a quote from his book. I didn't throw mine in the garbage. I kept it. It's in my banjo case. But I just let my tailpiece float whatever angle it wants to find. I've got my Snuffy Smith bridge marked out. You can probably see that on the head there, where I've got it marked with an ink pen. And that means that my bridge is exactly the same length as from the nut to the 12th fret. And then from the 12th fret to the bridge is exactly the same distance. Then you want to take and kind of lean it back a little bit. A lot of people that I've watched talking about their setup, they don't mention that part. They mention the part about the equal distance, but they don't mention the part about leaning it back a little bit. Now, you don't lean it so far back that it falls, but you give it just a little lean back to it, and it sounds better. And that's one of the reasons they have the compensation cut out in the Snuffy Smith bridges. So if you do stand them up, still they're compensated. But that's what leaning it back does, is kind of compensates it. You can take your bridge and you get you a piece of real fine sandpaper, set it down on a table or something, and take and lean your bridge so that the way that's facing toward the tailpiece is leant, and you just one or two little strokes, and because you don't want to overdo it. You can always take more off. You can't put none back. Of course, leaning it back, you basically get the same thing, but it's easier to lean back and it's setting more firmly if you sand it like that. Like I said, one or two licks and that's enough. You file it over, won't stand up on the head. Now, the neck on the Sierra Deering is mahogany. It has the railroad spikes. This is the first professional in the line. There's Sierra and then the Deluxe and on up. But they use exactly the same pot assembly on the Sierra as they do all the way up to their more expensive banjos. I mean, a Sierra is about $2,500, but they use it all the way up to their $10,000 banjos. Like I said, I've got my head tightened to an A sharp. You may hear my voice reverberating from the banjo. And so if I pick a string, that's another thing I was going to mention. Keep your finger off the bridge. I see so many people scotching their finger on the bridge. And here, I'll show you on mine. If you put your finger on the bridge of mine and then play the first string, you get that dead like spat sound. Not a ring as much, you can hear it ringing, but you get the spat sound. Now get it off of the bridge, about a eighth of an inch, 16th of an inch, something like that, and pick it. You don't get that dead spat sound in there. Now you can play on up the head and when you're playing up the neck, as they say. But I thought I would just go over some of those things. Please like and subscribe, share my videos. If you want to know anything else about my setup or anything like that, leave it in the comments below. Thanks.